Hey everybody, I just put a post up on Instagram, so I want to pretty much put put this post up again on Facebook platform. I want us to start off by focusing on cereal. Now, to those that have gone on my Instagram post and you've seen this, you don't have to watch it a second time if you don't want to, but I want to take out time to ask a set of questions. Companies market items. They do commercial ads. They put together whatever they can to make you interested. What's going on, Jason Lyle? Long time no here. Companies put up marketing ads, they put up commercials, they put up billboards, people pass out flyers. In some places that's illegal to pass out flyers, but companies do that, right? What's their whole goal? Their whole goal is to make money, right? So they'll some people might take a particular cereal box, for instance, and redesign the box, make it look a certain way. Maybe they want to make the cereal jump at you a certain way on the front of the box as opposed to where the cereal was sitting at the bottom of the box. Whatever I can do to make you interested, I'm going to do whatever I have to do, okay? So, how many of you have gone to a friend's house and had a sleepover, and gotten something to eat, in that morning? And maybe the best way to get something to eat was cereal. So you had some cereal boxes that was on top of the refrigerator or in the pantry or wherever it is, okay? Some people have preference. Some people like Raisin Bran. Some people like Frosted Flakes. Some people like, Cheerios, whatever. And I tell you what, to anybody that comes on this live, I want you to tell me what your favorite cereal is. We'll take time to see that. That'll be interesting to see. Your cereal. And that's going to tell me more about you than your zodiac sign. Nah, I'm just kidding. But anyway, let me keep going. So you got these boxes. And these boxes are up here. And some people like different ones, okay? But the whole point of the company making the cereal box is to find a variety of things that they can then look at what people are buying and what people aren't buying. And we call that purchasing power. So the person now finds something to purchase, and some people, they'll only eat Raisin Bran. Some people eat all cereals. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on what mood you're in, right? But the whole point of the company is not to make that box look good. It's about making money, pretty much. Today we live in a cereal box society, where that's what's here. Excuse me. Every human being, even right now on Facebook, we are being documented on what we buy, what we say, how we move. They take our age group and they put it all together. And that's how you get something called digital marketing. They can find out, in other words, what someone 67 years old on Facebook talks about the most, what they post up about the most. And 9 times out of 10, they can trigger what that person is going to buy, most likely. If somebody puts a post up that's empathetic about, what means the most to them, if there is a monetary business behind it, some of you have even noticed that they will pull up an ad right under your page, probably a day later, that's in reference to what you put a post up on. So if you put up something about a funeral, they may put a post up the next day or that day when you log back into Facebook about buying a casket in your local area. That's target marketing. Why am I talking like this? America, we live in a society where it's all about us fitting in boxes. And what they tell us is remove yourself whenever they want. Whenever the system wants, they tell you move out of that old box and move into this new box. And then they try to create a need for you to feel a certain way to purchase that box. And so they do that they might put a video up with a medication. Y'all seen it, where they say, oh, this is Abelcop. And Abelcop cures AIDS, but it might cause cancer, right? So go figure. So you're like, oh wow, and then it's FDA approved. Well, the FDA is approved. You heard FDA approved, right? Those cold words are there. Test studies have been shown, and it's FDA approved. But then somebody else can take a natural remedy, put it in front of you, and say, hey man, take this natural remedy. Oh no, I don't want to take that. I'm going to take Ambicov. Ambicov is working, right? And so you die of cancer. Now, let me stop. And so the company, I know you want to believe that the company that made Ambicov, that their whole reason for making it was because they wanted to help people that are in need, wanted to help the man falling. They wanted to make money. It's all about money. And so if I can get you to take that medication, then I might be able to get you to take 12 more. I might be able to present more to you. And they know people that put posts on Facebook, I'm telling you, that might talk about, I just took an Advil, or I just took a Goodies because I had a headache. I guarantee you on that person's page, they will target that individual for the whole reason of trying to get them to look at some other medications, because that's the society we live in. It's about putting you in a box. What's going on, Mr. Dina Brown? What's going on, Scott? Man, I miss you, bro. And so, you have the whole point of marketing is to get you to buy. I got to find a way to move you to a point to purchase something, right? I got to find different ways to get you to do something, to invest in what I'm telling you to do, right? Once I get you to do what I need you to do, then I'm going to try to identify you by a community, a subset, or some conglomerate, right? So now you might have the straight community, and you might have the gay community. You might have the black community and the white community. So now it's become a community, right? Although community has nothing to do with life choices or, whether you're melanated, heavily melanated or less melanated. Let's just be honest about that. But I need to create these communities and these conglomerates so I can keep division. But I don't do division. It's division with a purpose, y'all. It's not division so I can get you angry. No, I need that division so that whenever I need to use it for money, I can do it. I was saying in my my post on Instagram that when I lived in New York, they were talking about how they had brought gay marriage into New York, right? And there was so many people that had tears in their eyes. They were happy about it. And they have every right to do that. But I was looking at it as now New York has another demographic of people that they can make money off of, right? So guess what I start seeing before they legalized marriage there? I start seeing a lot of gay billboards. I start seeing a lot of advertisement on the television in the local area. All these things happen, right? Because you don't promote something because, oh, it's cool. No. You promote it because it makes money, right? Because if AIDS is something that's in it's a high risk area, right? Then now I can create factories. I can create, people have jobs that are created. If I can put melanated people in prison at high rates, then I can create jobs. Now we have more correctional officers and we have, more places for people to have jobs. That's why if you speak against the prison institution, or if you came up with an idea that will dissolve those bars, they probably gonna come after you to kill you, because you're taking away people's jobs. You're taking away people's money, right? This is what this is all about. And so what am I saying? I'm saying we live in a society where being a human is not enough. I got to find out if you're black. I got to find out if you're white. I got to find out if you're straight. Why does that matter? Why does it matter? And like I said in Instagram, you mean to tell me if you see a female that is stranded on the side of the road, her tire's blown, you're going to come up to her and say, are you a lesbian? Man, get out of here, man. You're not going to do that. You're going to change her tire. Because why? She's a human being in need of something. But you see, we can do that when it comes to a crisis. But when it comes to something that's not a crisis for us and makes us feel uncomfortable about dealing with our own issues, we have to run to a box because America says, find your box, find your box. I remember a long time ago when human beings were just enough. Susie walked down the road. Sharon walked down the road, spoke to her neighbor. Daniel spoke to his neighbor, and they were friends. They were cool. They talked about their lives, and their quality of life was important. They wanted their families taken care of. They wanted to know that their family was safe, and they wanted to have a good quality of life. That's what they wanted. They wanted to be respected as a human being, and that's what it came down to, right? Now, you're identified by your profession. You're identified by, if I ask you who is Jamie Foxx, you're going to say he's an actor. You're not going to tell me he's a human being that grew up in Texas. I'm just making this up, right? He could be. Grew up in Texas, was raised by his grandmother. And you're not going to tell me about his life. You're not going to tell me about what makes him human, his experience and what he went through. You're going to tell me he's an actor because that's where we live. That's the world we live in. And Jamie Foxx, let me give you an example because it just dropped in my head. Jamie Foxx wanted to be known as a musician first, but he also wanted to be known as a comedian and an actor, and he always had a wrestling with that. When he came out with his first album, he didn't sell too well on his album because it was hard for people to see him as more than just an actor. He couldn't be an R&B singer. So what he did was he put his R&B singing into his comedy acts. What am I saying? Why can't I see you as a human? A human being is powerful. And you know what's powerful about just seeing you as a human being? The way you are today may not be how you are tomorrow. It may not. Because you are learning. You are going through life. You are maturing. Far be it from me to put a definitive stamp on you and say, this is where you are. You can never go outside of this box. And so we live in America where they create boxes, right? Then they tell you, oh, jump out of this box. This is an old box. And jump into a new one. But guess what? You're not in the box. Really? So you jump from out of one box, jump into another box. Now you're still defined by another box. I don't ever hear America saying, be free from all the boxes. Why? Because you can't make money off that. How do you sell human to a human? Where's the money in that? Where's the money in telling someone you're a human being that makes decisions and that's all that matters? You can't make money off that, man. And so we live in a society that only defines us by what we buy or what we sell. Nothing else matters. Your kids don't matter. What matters is me making money off your kids. Your wife doesn't matter. Your husband doesn't matter. Me making money off them does. That's what we live in. Why is it that if you see a man hanging off a tree about to fall, or you see someone getting beaten up, this is why. I want y'all to hear this. I want you to hear me well. This is why when a melanated man is being beaten or by the police, or when someone's in a fight being beaten, we just take the cell phone and hold it up. Because you know what? It's about entertainment. And what is entertainment about? It's about making money. Maybe somebody wants to get their views up. And so this is the perfect opportunity. And so now we have a website that takes that information, post it up, then they post it up on YouTube, and they post it up on their personal YouTube channel, and they post it up on Instagram, and they post it up on every place they can, every platform they can. Why? Because it gets them views. And if they get more views, what happens? Then they might get sponsors. And if they get sponsors, they might make money. And even if they don't get sponsors, if they have enough views, depending on what platform it is, they might make money. But when you see somebody as a human, you'll break up that fight. When you see somebody as a human, you say, I'm going to find out why that brother or that sister got beaten up by the authorities. We live literally in the Matrix. And all these boxes exist. And from the time we're born, the owners of these boxes are just trying to get us to just choose a box. Choose which one you want to be a part of. I want to encourage you something today. I want to tell you something today. You're more than that box. Being a human who makes a decision is enough. Well, you say, well, how could you say that? Well, see, if I tell you you're human, right? You say, okay. But if I tell you you're amazing and you were born to be great, you're like, wait, that's great. But what if I told you that the word human means born to be great? What if I tell you that human means that you're amazing? What if I told you that human means godlike? So if I take you away from the essence of who you are, then you have an identity crisis. And when you have an identity crisis, then I now can identify for you who you are. I need you to hear what I'm telling you. If you are no longer a human being made in God's image, powerful to dominate this earth, to rule the planet, to rule the resources, that you have a purpose on this earth, that you have something to fulfill, and that is important, that is more important than anything. If I don't have you focusing on that, then now you have no identity. If you have no identity, then now I can create one for you, and now everything, your very existence, is on the basis of my word. So someone said, I saw a post that people were putting up about Dwayne Wade and his son. And people were spending so much time arguing about, well, he's 12 years old. He doesn't have the ability to identify himself. D Wade is a monster. All these different things. I even saw during the dunk contest that I watched where someone said, well, the reason why the guy that should have won the dunk contest didn't win it is because of the simple fact that Dwayne Wade, maybe if that boy, the guy that should have won the dunk contest, maybe if he had a transgender son, then maybe he would have won. And see, these are the type of statements that we put out. What's going on, sister? We put these statements out here because we don't see each other as human beings anymore. We don't anymore. Now we're just trying to figure out, how can I fit you into my puzzle? How can I get something out of you? And so it was interesting to me that someone was now promoting a book, that someone was now going on from show to show, because you know what? Your pain is promotion to someone else. Your pain is promotional use for someone else. I'm telling you, people will take your pain, find a way to fulfill a need, make a business structure out of it, or a business proposition out of it, and thrive and survive off of your pain in order to keep them relevant. What am I saying? Am I dogging D Wade out? I'm not. I'm just telling you that we've seen it over and over again. We've seen a man come out and say that he was mishandled, he was molested, and we're like, man, that's terrible. And then he says, but for $9.99 you can buy my book. I can tell you about my pain and what I'm doing, and now we're doing a movie. And look, I'm not saying it's wrong for him to do that book. I'm not saying it's wrong for him. But look, if it was just simply about sharing his pain, he wouldn't necessarily make money off of it. Okay? That's not to say that if that person made money off of it, it's wrong. Okay? It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that people or someone else, when that person dies, like when Tupac Shakur died, Nipsey Hussle died, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, when people want to create a movie off of them, they create the movie and someone says, oh, that's powerful. They create that movie so we can get another view. Man, we got books, man. We got books, man. Man, that's all about promotion. That's marketing and promotion. Why? Because I'm trying to make money. I'm telling you, it's time for us to stop letting people use us for promotional use. It's time for us to stop letting people reduce us to an ad campaign. Your life is more than a hashtag. Your life is more than a signature title. You were made in the image of God to dominate the planet, to rule, to reign, to find your place and your purpose. And all these distractions come up to get you away from finding your purpose. Why? Because I have to create a lie that there's not enough space for us to operate so that I can continue to rule you, because I want to rule over you. I don't want you to advance. I don't want you to know how great you are. I don't want you to see the beauty that's inside of yourself. And so now I need to create an argument. So now we create the social infrastructure of black and white so that by having this social infrastructure in place, I can always use these code words and keep people divided against each other. I can say there's the gay community and then there's the straight community. And I can throw out these words from people that represent each communities, and I can cause anger, and I can get people to put picket signs up that say God hates fags, and I can put signs up there that says, if you're a heterosexual, you're lying to yourself. I can do all these different things to cause division. Why? Because I want to make money. I want to make money. So, are you just going to be a hashtag, or are you going to be life itself? Are you going to be purpose on wheels, or are you just going to be a busted tire? What you and I choose to do is up to us. But what I'm encouraging, stop letting people take our children, our youth, yourself, and use us for promotional gain. You're more than a dollar sign. You're made in the image of God. And when you use the word human, which comes from the word humus, which means one part of it means from the dirt, the other part of it means from somewhere. What if I told you God took a piece of himself, expanded it, put it inside of a uniform, and said, when you look at me, when you look at Rod, when you look at Salima, when you look at Adina, when you look at Scott, when you look at Yolanda, you see God. You say to me, man, I don't believe that. Let me give you the scripture. I'm glad you asked. I was hungry and you fed me. I was in prison and you saw me. What is he saying? He said, to any of you that have done these things, you have been me in this situation. What am I saying? When you help someone that's in need, when you help someone that's in a crisis, and you reach out to them to help them, you are representing and demonstrating God-like behavior. You don't ask somebody on the side of the road that just got into an accident while they're taking their last breath, hey, I just want to know something. Are you gay or straight? Come on, man. But in America, we create boxes so people are stuck in those boxes. And now whenever I want to make money, they call it capitalism. I need to capitalize on your pain. I need to capitalize on your hurt. So I find a way to sympathize and empathize with you. Then I'll come out with some product. Oh, you're having issues with depression? Take Ambergolf. I know I keep making some crazy names. Y'all just walk with me. I created Ambergolf. Ambergolf reduces 80% of the stress that people feel. The folks take the medication, they more depressed than what they was when they took it. Because the actual item itself was there to cure cold and not to cure depression. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying we got to get outside of this matrix, man. We got to get unplugged from this matrix where we allow for somebody to identify ourselves. Before I go, I'm going to say this to you. If I take away from you the idea that being human is being made in the image of God, it's being godlike on earth, if I take that away from you, right, then I take away the choice of you seeing who God is. See, when the Bible says love thy neighbor as thyself, but the first thing it says love God with all your heart, that means that you can't love your neighbor until you first love God. And if you truly love God, you love your neighbor. And if you love both of those things, you love yourself. Okay? So if I eliminate those things from you and get your focus on boxes, societal boxes that you need to fit in, then you're just another tombstone in the grave. And now the coroner made money. Now the funeral home made money. And life goes on. But I'm declaring to you today that today you're going to see yourself more than a commodity, that you're more than an item. You're more than a dollar sign. You're more than a societal box. You are the representation of God on earth. You are love on wheels. You are special. You are important. And that means you're human. And that's enough. It's more than enough. But you see, as long as we have these societal boxes that we jump into, we'll always be divided. And as long as we're divided, we can all just be monetary gain. So I want to encourage you that you're actually more than what you think. I'm not here to argue about gay, straight, black, white, none of that. That ain't what I'm here to argue about. What my frustration is that we're no longer important and we can't see it. Society has told us that. And then they tell us, then when you have that identity crisis, like I said before, once you have an identity crisis, I can create for you an identity. You can become my definition. In other words, I can be Webster and you can be in my book. Now I define you at any moment when I want to. I can tell you how to move. I can tell you how to think. I can come out with movies that tell you how to think. I can come out with books and I can put my crisis actors in front of you to get you to think the way you need to think, because I need you when I need to make money off of you. But you're more. You're more than that. And so find out your purpose. Find out what you're here for, because we need it. I'm talking to myself. So I'm signing off. I love everybody on this video. And, feel free to leave a message. All right, y'all. Love y'all.